One of the hardest things usually to talk about is costs and money, of course.
What living in a van costs. To us anyway.
So we have counted every cent that have gone from our account and put it into Excel so we can compare the expenses when we owned apartment, when we were living in a van while working in Helsinki and not traveling, and also the traveling costs. First category is rent/mortgage. We lived in an apartment in the suburban of Helsinki and we owned it. Total cost was 2016 euros. And that included loan down payment, interest, the monthly fee on apartment. The next category is fuel. We used to have a Kia Ceed hatchback and we didn't drive a lot. The fuel costs when we were in an apartment was 80 euros. And when we got this van and lived in Helsinki, of course we took lots of weekend trips to nearby. And the fuel cost went up to 130 euros.
And now when we are traveling, we drive a lot and diesel prices vary a lot. So average is 237 euros per month.
Yeah, the car maintenance and auto related is basically every euro that we use to our car. Kia Ceed was quite new. It was 4 years old car. So there was just random things, wipers, oil, change and everything. And it was approximately 40 euros per month. Same is in here. While we were in Helsinki with this van, it went a bit higher when we started traveling. Because, for example, we bought winter tires, snow chains and everything. So those costs went up a lot.
Their car insurance, basically the same.
Yeah. This van has a little bit higher insurance costs, but not much. We have full insurance for the car. We have tow insurance. It's roadside assistance. We are fully insured in every European country that we go.
We wanted to do it because this is our home. So
yeah, this is our home. We are gonna drive a lot in a 1 year time. So it's really good to have the full insurance.
Yeah. So, camping fees, old life, 0, Vanlife, static when we were working and didn't use campgrounds, 0, and now that we are traveling, it's about 50 euros per month.
So, the campgrounds in Europe, average costs are about 20 euros, I think.
Per night, yeah.
Per night. 20 euros per night.
And they are not fancy ones. They are really Spartanic and might be really kind of outdated and some places are kind of dirty, but...
Yeah, 20 euros you get your pitch, you get your electricity, maybe. You may have to pay extra. But now when we have traveled and we have had to use some camping grounds, we need to be in plug.
To render these videos.
If you don't have any appliance that need lots of electricity, you don't need to go to camping grounds in Europe.
When we go to the western part of Europe, we don't have to go to camping grounds because there are like free service points.
Yeah.
For the vans and caravans.
Yeah. Or they cost like €1 or €2. Get the water and you can dump your toilet there and everything. So I think this eastern part of Europe and Greece is the only place that we are going to the camping grounds.
Then the next category, gas, LPG, what we use mainly for cooking our food and heating the van.
We didn't have any gas heater or anything in our apartment, so it's 0. When we lived in Helsinki, we had these change bottles. We used about 1 bottle per month of the LPG. Mainly for heating the shower and cooking.
And the average cost was then 24 25 euros per month.
So that's equals 1 bottle per month. Well, after we got to traveling, we installed the fillable LPG because we knew that we're gonna use a lot of more LPG because it's winter time and we are going to the mountains and everything, so it's really cold out here. Now 40 euros. 40 euros you get about 80 liters per month.
Our gas consumption is really high because this van doesn't have any insulation, but it doesn't matter in the big budget because it's only like 40 euros per month.
Yeah.
In a winter time.
Yeah.
And it's going down.
It's surely going down. 80% of our consumption of LPG is going to the heating of the van, and maybe 20% to the shower and cooking. Then next category is laundry. When we left our apartment, basically we didn't have any laundry costs. We had our own machine and we did the laundry ourselves. Laundry, when we were in Helsinki, there's a couple of laundromats in Helsinki. They are a bit expensive, but 40 euros per month.
Yeah.
And now when we have traveled, it's 25 euros. Yeah, it's a bit high because we did laundry in Denmark and it costed 50 euros to make two machines.
Yeah.
So it was
super
expensive.
Yeah.
After that, the expenses have been something around 20 to 25.
So, fresh water, when we live in an apartment, we had to pay 24 euros every month for consuming the fresh water. And then when we moved to van, the freshwater cost was 0 because we could always find a tap where we could get a drinking water. And also now in traveling, it has been really easy, but we have paid a few times 50 cents, so the average is 1 euro for the fresh water. There's always these freshwater taps. We test drink it if it's salty, and if it's not, then we figure if it's safe to drink or not.
That's one thing if you travel just for 1 month, for example, all around Europe, your stomach doesn't get used to the local bacteria and water. There's always some bacteria in water, so your stomach doesn't get used to it and you get stomach flu. Yeah. Just from the normal drinking water, what is perfectly normal for local people.
Yeah.
Or the travelers that travel long time and slowly.
Drinking water in Europe, most part is perfectly fine and good tasting and really good. Don't be afraid to use it.
Like water, we have a cassette toilet, so it's a small cassette that we empty, and of course we don't have any sewage bill on our apartment. And in Helsinki, basically we paid like once in 2 weeks. There was this camping ground that you could empty your black water cassette for 2 euros. So mainly the black water cost that we have is that chemical that we used. We usually empty that black water cassette to public toilets or tavernas toilets or anything that is available.
When we are boondocking and wild camping in nature, we use nature's own toilet, so we don't get our car toilet full that often.
Yeah,
so
we use the toilet just in cities when we are
city days.
Phone bills are 50 euros per month. Basically it's 600 megabits of data per month. And in Nordic countries we have unlimited data. So basically that 50 euros is more than enough in Nordic countries. Now in Greece we took our first prepaid. Wi-Fi's are everywhere. You can easily
hack the password.
Or guess the password.
Yeah.
It's usually really easy to guess it. So Wi-Fi's has saved us a lot of money. So the largest amount of euros that we use is on groceries. And the groceries includes everything that we buy from supermarkets. So shampoos and everything, not just the food. And it's basically the same. In Helsinki, when we lived in an apartment, it was 400 euros. per month. When we lived in a van in Helsinki, it was 400 euros, and now when we are traveling, it's also 400 euros. First comes the health of the food, and then comes the price. So we could pinch from that number easily half if we could just buy unhealthy food and just look for the price.
We don't want to do that because then you feel all bloated and not good and you are tired all the time. So
yeah, this is like the one place that we don't want to save. Yeah, next, restaurant, museum fees, alcohol, entertainment. This is called entertainment for us, but basically this category includes everything that we don't need, but we want to buy.
Yeah.
So there's a restaurants, museums, alcohol. We have bought camera and mic and clothing, and we could have done it like a little subcategories, but it was so hard work. So we decided that everything that we don't need but we want is in this category. So when we were in an apartment, it was 120 euros. When we lived in a van, we knew that we were gonna start our travels soon. So we dropped that to 60 euros per month.
Yeah.
For example, I bought a drone that cost 400 euros this month that goes this entertainment.
And now because we are traveling, we are penny pinching and cautious with the prices, but also we want to sometimes go to a restaurant to eat and not just sit in our van and not ever buy anything. So that's why this entertainment box has kind of expanded.
Road toll, ferries and parking.
Next.
One. While we were living in an apartment, basically we paid just for the parking of our car front of our apartment. It was 10 euros per month. When we lived in a van in Helsinki, we didn't pay any parking fees because we knew where the nice places with free parking are, so we spent there nights. After we started traveling, of course these expenses went really high.
Yeah, we try to avoid paved roads and always find a free parking spot and leave our car there and then walk
But basically other major cities that we have visited, there's always like 400 meters away from the city central, there's always free park. Total that we spent while we were living in an apartment in Helsinki, it was 2,624 euros. And that's everything that went monthly from our accounts.
Yeah.
So
That's
a lot of money. After we moved to our van and lived in Helsinki, it was 885 euros. And that's basically nothing. We thought that number would be much higher, maybe over 1,000 euros, but after 3 months we noticed that we don't spend any money anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was super cheap to live in Helsinki in a van in summertime. In wintertime you can easily spend 400 euros to LPG to heat the van.
Yeah, every month.
So
you can double the prices then. So.
Yeah. And now when we have traveled, our cost is 1,600 euros.
Yeah.
And we are a bit over our budget. We have budget for 1,400 euros per month.
Traveling with the van is not that cheap way to travel, but it's definitely a cost effective. But living in a van, in like a stationary, if you don't travel much, that's super cheap.
That's true.
But traveling somewhat.
But if you compare traveling with a van to any other way of traveling.
Backpacking, hitchhiking.
Backpacking, okay, 20 euros per hostel.
Couchsurfing.
Okay, that's much of working, yeah.
That's a much of working, but that's also...
Yeah, but if you backpacking...
Less luxurious.
Yeah. We are here in a beach every
This
day.
like you can get the best for everything for the low price.
We are on vacation, so you always spend a lot more on vacation than on your normal day-to-day activities.
We would do this for the rest of the life, like travel forever. We would binge
a
lot more, but we have like this timetable, so we also want to experience a little more than just.
So if this turns to way of life, I think we're gonna binge that traveling number to 1,000.
Yeah.
Near to 1,000 euros.